Champions Cup, the first semi-final, Saracens against Munster. Saracens have got it done, 32 points to 16. I guess a pretty comfortable margin in the end, although the game was still relatively within touching distance right until about that second try for Saracens. So it was definitely a ding-dong battle in the first half, very much back and forth. Both sides exchanging penalties. Farrell got one very early on, and their kicking did seem to get, I suppose, a bit of the advantage over the course of the game. I mean, that's kind of marked in the territory stats as well. But Munster answered back with a Blindale penalty, 3-3 after about 10 minutes. Farrell won 17 minutes, 6-3. And then after a lot of pressure, they managed to get another one, but still no try. 9-3. And then Blindale answered back on half an hour, 9-6. Murray kicked a monster of a penalty just on 36 minutes. I was pretty impressed by that kick. 9-9, and then Farrell got one right on halftime to make it 12-9 at halftime. And when I say it was a ding-dong battle, I mean it was a big exchange of penalties, but there were, apart from the high balls, which were getting a wee bit of pay for Saracens, like the intensity was pretty huge. It did have that kind of knockout game feeling about it, as it should, being a semi-final. Like Stunder at one point got a turnover, and like I don't know what he was saying to whoever he turned over, but he was fired up and letting them know that I'm here and I'm here to play. Not that long later, Owen Farrell hit one of the Munster guys. I guess as he was taking a high ball about the same time, or perhaps like half a second earlier. That was, I think, Haley that he hit, and there was a bit of ferocity in that. And there were other hits. I think Haley got hit by Atoje at some point as well. The hits were real, and there was some feeling in those. So despite no tries in the first half, it was still very intense. I should say it's a bit... it's an interesting one with the crowd, because there were a lot of Munster fans in that crowd. Huge amount of Munster fans. I mean, although it was a home game for Saracens, it wasn't at their home ground. I'm not sure what the trip to Coventry is like from London. I guess it's closer than from Ireland, but yeah, there was a lot of red in that crowd, and it wasn't anywhere near sold out by the look of things. I mean, I can't really say much about that, because in Super Rugby, plenty of the quarterfinals and semi-finals have empty seats in them, so I'm not sure if that's usually a thing, or if that's just the nature of this game being moved to the Rico. So I'll take any insights there, but I guess it was a pity it wasn't sold out, because the intensity could have used a more intense crowd, I guess. But I mean, still credits. I don't know how many Munster fans travelled, but it was a lot. And they kind of certainly lived up to that reputation they got for being good travelling fans. I did read a little bit on Facebook, some of the comments, people saying the prices of those tickets were expensive. I don't know how much they were, but if that put people off, plus the travel, I'm not sure. But I guess semi-finals don't come along that often, so either way, hopefully the final gets kind of packed to the rafters. There's usually a fair few corporates going to those, so it should be. Anyway, back to the rugby. Second half is where we got some tries. Rhodes got one, 43 minutes. That was a bit of quick ball, a nice little break, and he hit the ball. I think they were expecting them to pass to, I think it was Williams, but they went with Rhodes, and he kind of just was able to canter in. Although Conway never got up, he never gave up. He was trying to bring him down right till the end, trying to knock the ball loose, but he did manage to get it down. That gave it a 10-point buffer, 19 points to 9. Farrell kicked 2 more penalties, 29-9 and 25-9. So at that point, Munster were kind of looking dead and buried, and they needed to hit back, and they managed it. To kind of make the game interesting. Sweetenham got a try just on the hour mark, a bit of a loose ball from a Saracens scrum. The Saracens guys were complaining about the way the ball came out. I never saw a replay which showed anything in specific detail, but either way, they converted that, and that made it 25 points to 16. And just before that, Munster had really been pushing. They'd been pushing Saracens back. They'd been able to win a few penalties, and they'd been held up 5 metres from the line in a maul. So it looked like Saracens were going to hold them out, and that was going to be it for Munster. But they did get that try. It was kind of game on, and then Farrell missed the penalty. So at that point, you're wondering, is the pressure getting to him? But then 71 minutes, Billy Vunipola gets his try. It looked like the Munster guys had stopped him. Like their defence is pretty renowned, and they had him pretty much held up. He wasn't able to get to the ground, but he just got one hand loose and just darted the ball down. So that was a good effort. Got that hand free. 32 points to 16, and that was pretty much game over at that point with just about 8 minutes to go. Cock did get yellow carded. But it was never going to make too much of a difference given how late it was. So yeah, very intense game. The scoreline makes it look really kind of one-sided. But as I said, if Munster had been the next to score after they got that Sweetenham try, it would have been absolutely game on. But Saracens were able to really just kind of go about their business and I guess control the game enough to get that last try and just really put it beyond Munster. So I guess credit to both sides. It was a very intense game. Barrett went off for Saracens at halftime. Yes, he showed a bit of a Warriors thing to actually come back for the game, but wasn't able to make it through the 80. It didn't end up making a difference. They were still able to kind of get on with business without him. Saracens were just kind of able to pull that game away from Munster bit by bit, and it's largely down to, I guess, their kicking game, the way they controlled the territory. Like when you look at the stats at the end, Saracens had 58% possession to the Munster's 42, and 64% territory to Munster's 36. So they were able to really edge those areas. That being said, both sides were pretty solid defensively. Saracens tackled at 90%, 119 tackles, which is a fair few for a team which had kind of 60% of the ball. Munster, 87% tackling, so almost 90 as well, 175 tackles. So despite the fact that they conceded 2 tries, I guess the Vunipola one was a bit of an exception. The way he got that hand down, 175 tackles is still a pretty solid effort from the boys. Top performers, I guess Saracens, good. Williams and Vunipola, all were the top kind of meter getters, 64, 63, 43 meters for those guys. 43 meters from a loose forward's pretty good. For Munster, it was Sweetenham and Haley, both with just under 40, so not quite able to make the same amount of ground. Defensively, Atoje had 16 out of 18 tackles for Saracens. Stunder continued his thing. He's been the top tackler for the comp. He was the top tackler for this game with 20 tackles, so putting in a very, very big effort. But a losing one at this time. So, pretty good game. Pretty happy with that. It would have been nice to see a Munster-Leinster final just for that absolute rivalry, but it's going to be good to have an either English up against French game or English up against Irish. I guess that will kind of add something to it as well. So congratulations to Saracens. A good effort at home to get that win. Munster fans, kind of credit to you guys for travelling out there in numbers to certainly get that support. The team were able to kind of stick with it right till the end, but not able to get quite close enough to put that last bit of pressure on. But we'll see what happens in the Leinster against Toulouse game. That's not too far away. It's tonight. So, it should be an interesting one. And then we'll see how that final gets set up. You guys let me know your thoughts on the game, the kind of key performers, the key moments. How do you think those? I mean, there was a few kind of semi-controversial ones. How do you think they went? And what are you guys' thoughts on the crowd? Is it the ticket prices? Is it the location? What was the deal with that? And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.